Let's do some smelting today. I've got an excess of aluminum that's built up that I'm going to be smelting down into ingots, and also hopefully take a little bit of it and turn it into saints medals and pendants. This will be our safety supervisor for today. He's mostly in charge of making sure no stray sticks are laying around, keeping them out of the way and keeping everybody safe. So this hideous thing is obviously, it used to be a propane tank. So I cut the lid open. I have a smaller version of this that I bought on Amazon for like 150 bucks, but it's much smaller. It takes a smaller crucible in it, so it's not really great for smelting large amounts of aluminum. So I went ahead and cut the top off of this and just welded a hinge on it so it opens up. And it is lined with a ceramic fiber cloth. It's insulation meant for furnaces and crucibles and things like that. And then there's the port here. Cut a hole and you want it to go in at an angle. You see from the top it angles in towards the side. And you want it to do that because you want the fire to circle around inside there, around the crucible. Alright, so here's what we're working with today. Aluminum cans, obviously. Most of them come with this delicious golden liquid inside, your hillbilly jet fuel, if you will. And you can see I've got several large tubs of this. Most of it is cans. There's some sections of a neighbor's flagpole that was also aluminum that I cut up and have in here. And we're going to smelt all of this down. Okay, just a few other things you're going to need here. You're going to need a propane regulator. This is the one that came with my smaller furnace, my smelter. But you can piece this together from pretty much any hardware store. You're going to need a crucible that'll fit the size of your smelter. I'm going to be using the bigger one here today. Like I said, I built the bigger smelter furnace to fit this one because it does not fit the furnace that takes this one. I like a leather apron, gloves, and a face shield. Safety first. You'll see guys on YouTube smelting in shorts and flip-flops, and they can do that. I like my toes where they are. You'll want some water, something to dip it with for when we are pouring the ingots. And this is, no kidding, just a steel baking pan. Aluminum melts at about 1200 degrees. Steel melts somewhere around 2300, I think. So obviously it's baked the coating off of there, but so what? It's the right size for me. You can get cast iron ingot molds if you want. I don't find the need for them. Obviously you're going to need some propane for your fuel, and we're going to need a place to lay down our slag, the crap that comes off of the top of the aluminum as it melts. Because those cans are going to melt down. Aluminum cans by weight are more paint and plastic than they are aluminum. So when they melt down, they go down quite a bit in volume, and you've got to scoop all that paint and plastic and crap off of the top of the melted aluminum before you can use the aluminum, because you don't want all that other stuff in whatever you're casting. Quick note about these propane fittings. The ones that go inside the female fitting for the which would normally be the male fitting if you're hooking it up to your grill, but it is the female fitting on this. This actually goes inside there. These are left-handed, so it is righty-loosey, lefty-tighty. Something to keep in mind before you get frustrated the first time and throw your wrench across the yard. As I mentioned, we're going to try and actually cast a few pieces today, since I'm going to go ahead and have the aluminum melted. I've got several saints medals here that are hand carved in wood, that I carved in wood to be molds for this, or the die, I guess. Alright, we are ready to go. So Remember I said I put a hinge on this? Yeah, that broke. Alright, so we've got the supply coming in. Again, it comes in at an angle right there. So we want it to swirl around. And you got your crucible. This does already have aluminum in it. Didn't get all of it out from the last one, and that's actually good, because when this melts down, you'll know it's hot enough, and it's actually going to provide the stock to start melting the first of your new metal that you're melting. We got 3 valves here. You got a 90 degree valve there. You've got a right-hand valve here, and then of course the right-hand valve on top of the propane tank. Now, we are not going to turn all the fuel on and then try to light this with our hand down in there with a lighter. What we're going to do is just take a little bit of newspaper here. We're going to light it. Sorry for the horrible cinematography. And we're just going to let that hang out down in there while we open these other valves. All right, and we have fire. Okay, that's our, we got our fire action going around the crucible there. And that circular motion is going to improve when we put this on. And you can't see it real good right now, but there's a good amount of flame and heat coming up out of that vent at the top. And we should, it takes a good 5 minutes or so before things get hot enough in there to really start melting things down. A little bit ago I told you about how much volume you lose from the cans when you're melting them down. This is just a little blob. Like I said, you can melt down into these nice ingots, and I had borrowed the cast iron molds for that, but usually I just pour into this pan and I get little blobs like this, which are great because it just fits right into my small crucible, which I can use when I'm not really smelting down, when I'm just casting. But this little deal right here, this is about 30 of those cans. It takes 30 of those cans to make this. Okay, this is starting to get, you can see the flames coming out of there now. A little bit better. And it is hot and angry in there. And it's starting to melt enough that we can go ahead and start adding some cans. Looks like we're there. We're doing pretty good. All right, and we'll just keep adding them. Like I said, we got to get about 30 of those to get 1 ingot. Okay, we've got a pretty good amount in there right now, and I'm going to want to go ahead and take off the slag off the top there. So I'm going to start by backing the pressure off on the flame. To just above it going out. And all that stuff there, you're going to dump off, and you're going to get a little bit of the aluminum with it, and that's okay. But what we're left with there is mostly Get just a couple more pieces there. That looks pretty good. Alright, after we've scraped the slag off the top, we've got good clean aluminum in there, we're going to close it up and fire it back up as hot as we can get, because we want it to be as close to the consistency of water as we can get when we go to pour it into the mold. Everything is just really hot in there right now. I mean, the crucible itself is glowing. So everything that's about as thin as we're going to get the aluminum. So I'm going to go ahead and back off the pressure again. And I am going to take our ladle here. And we got a little bit of spill there, it's not a big deal. That's why we keep the water handy. Alright. Not sure if that one didn't go through to the mold, or this one, or if I just put more in there. That one went through nice and good, so we'll just have to wait and see how things turn out when it's all cooled down and we take it out of the casting sand. I poured these ingots. This is most of a crucible, so this is about 50, 60 cans, a little bit more. We'll let those set. And pretty much from there, it's just rinse and repeat a few hundred times. After a little grinding to take the burrs off, ended up with this small medal of St. Mary Magdala. That's the facing side. So I've still got to polish it, and I'll stamp the letters in there. Mary Magdalene on this side, and pray for us on this side. That is a drop of blood and frankincense blossom. So again, just a little medal for a rosary or a pendant. It'll look a lot nicer once I get it polished up and do all the finish work and stamp the letters on there. But there you have it.